Sahanavavatu Sagano Bhunaktu Sagaviryam Karavavai Tejasvinavadhitamastruma Vidvishavarihi. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. The limitless, see the argument. The limitless should include both subject and object. With the addition of subject and object, there is no addition to the limitless. Because what cannot be added to increase the limitless is the limitless. Any addition doesn't alter the limitless. Any subtraction doesn't alter the limitless. Like mathematical infinity. The infinity plus anything is still infinity. Infinity minus anything is infinity. No quantity will make a difference to infinity. The limitless remains limitless. Add the entire Jagat, means entire world, including your body, mind, sense complex, it remains limitless. Negate the whole, still limitless. So this is what we call Ananda. People think that Brahman is something that is away from all this. Which is not true. And therefore, it cannot be true, it's never true, because you say Anantam and you completely belie that statement by saying that it is different from everything else. It transcends, no doubt. It has to. If it is both subject and object, it has to sustain both of them, should include both of them. And infinite being what it is, it can't have an intrinsic attribute. Because every object has got some intrinsic attribute. In fact, every object is attribute. But in language we have that this is a substantive. It has an intrinsic attribute, and that is, suppose you say part, the word has a certain intrinsic meaning, and that meaning is found in an object, we call it part. Any object which is similar to that meaning is called part. So whether it's a big part or a small part or a chota part, and it becomes a part. And therefore, so even a pot belly, a bare belly, we call it pot belly. Because something similar, okay? So little, the one part of it is clear. Therefore, we call it pot belly. We don't say pot, but pot belly. Jackpot. That comes from pot of gold. Treasure. You hit a treasure. How this jack came before the pot, I don't know. So as a qualifying adjective, I don't know, but this is it's a pot. Pot is there because you hit a pot of gold, treasure. And therefore, you have an intrinsic meaning of pot. Then blue pot then brown pot, then plastic pot, then golden pot, or you can say a pot, a clay, silver pot, copper pot, aluminium pot, all these various pots. So, what do you know is only pot. Therefore, you qualify all this. That's only meaning. So, it doesn't include clay. It doesn't include silver. If it includes, every pot will be silver. If it includes clay, every pot will be clay. And therefore, it doesn't include clay, it doesn't include silver, it doesn't include copper or plastic. Only just the meaning of the word is only form and its function. It's clear. A form is not a substantive vastu. A form is not a vastu. The whole jagat, you give me words, only meaning, vak and artha, that's it. The word and its meaning. Because word becomes very important. Because the meaning is contained in the word. Until a group of sound is construed as a word, whether it is a dialectic of a tribal or it is a sophisticated French word. There is nothing more sophisticated than French according to the French. And therefore, so this, they think they have got the best language in the world. Everybody thinks like that. Tamilians think Tamil is the best language. One fellow told me, Tamil is the greatest language among languages. I asked him, how many languages you know? How many languages you know? Do you know Telugu? Do you know Malayalam? Do you know Kannada? These are all the same group. Do you know? I don't know all this. Then how can you say this is the greatest language? How can you say that? No, because it is a great language. Now greatest became great. And then further if you say, it's one of the languages, correct? There is nothing wrong. It has got its own something. Every language has got its own something. So what you can express in Marathi, you cannot express in Kannada. What you express in Kannada, you cannot express in Tamil. What you express in Tamil, certain things you cannot express in any other language. And what you express in English, I find it is very difficult to explain anywhere else, any other language. There are a lot of words I find, while teaching only, I pick and choose my words. As you pick and choose apples. The bad apple you throw away, and then if you are allowed to pick and choose, and then, that's why they put everything in a bag and then give you, that net, plastic net bag. In that you can see. At the same time, you have to accept the whole. Okay? That's a better thing. We have already selected, you need not select. Pay the bill. So, I pick and choose, and I know exactly what can be expressed in English cannot be expressed the same way. In a few languages I know. Even Sanskrit. And what is expressed in Sanskrit cannot be also expressed. Some words cannot be expressed. Even other Indian languages, like prasadam, prasad, prasadaha. No way, no way. You don't have a word. Therefore, in Tamil it is prasadam. In Malayalam also prasadam. In Telugu prasadamu. In Kannada prasada. In Marathi prasad. In Gujarati prasad. In Punjabi parshad. But it is all prasad. Even Bengal, so will say prasad, because they don't have any problem with P or R. Yeah. So that is common, because there is only one word. It is a loaded word. There is so much behind it. What comes from Ishvara is prasad. Chitta prasadaha. Ananda is prasad, clarity. That's a word. But the prasad you receive in a temple, there's no equivalent for it. It is prasad. Like this we have words. In every language there are words. But what I say, in all languages, word and its meaning are inseparable. Until you know it's only a sound. Once you know, or a group of sounds, once you know it's a word meaning this, that is not separable. This is Shastra. That is why Kalidasa said, Vagartav iva samprukta. Word and its meaning are eternal. Eternal in the sense they are there. You can't destroy that. Word and its meaning. So when it is inseparable, in all languages and dialects, that constitute Jagat. And every word with its meaning, word goes away, meaning alone remains. Once I have said ocean, word goes away, the meaning remains in your head. And you want to convey this meaning to another person, you use the word ocean. That person should know what is ocean. Then it is communication. Exactly as you know, you have to make sure the other person knows. That's called communication. That is why I don't use the word divine, because people will have divine mean something. Immediately they get up from the ground. So mentally, fluffy they become. And therefore, so divine has no definite meaning. Pumpkin, yes. But not divine. Spiritual, that also has no definite meaning. Because even the fellow who is drunk, and he is also spiritual. In fact, he is literally spiritual. You can test his blood and prove it also. And they do it also. The police fellows do it. Sir, you are drunk, sir. No, I am not drunk. You are drunk, sir. I am not drunk. I can have one more. I am not drunk. You are drunk, sir. The blood sample. Drunk, sir. You are highly spiritual, sir. You are easily ignitable, sir. They always address you, sir, right? And give you a big ticket. Sir. They undergo training, how to talk. Is it? Polite. Polite, fine punishment. Very polite but punished. Sar. What is spiritual? Everybody has his own vague idea. And there are hundreds of words. Religion also. Scripture also. Holy also. Holy war. Huh? Holy war. What is holy? Killing becomes holy. So, these are all very vague words. So, word understood properly, then I should be able to communicate to the other if the other understands the word the same way. So that kind of communication is possible only when you avoid vague words and use words that you are sure are understood the same way. If you are not sure, make them understand as though they don't know. That's communication. And that is 100% necessary in the teaching of Vedanta. You can see the responsibility for a teacher is very onerous. Therefore, all that we talk as though vastu, different things, chair we said, this is a chair. And it has a meaning. So this chair, if it is reversed, it's not chair. But you imagine, if it is reversed, it will become chair. Now it is not chair. Then you say reverse it, so that there is chair. If it is not reversed, you can't sit on it. And you know that very well. Therefore, if it is reversed and kept, it can only be construed as modern art. Understand? And it has no other meaning. In modern art, it need not have meaning. That's modern art, correct? Wonderful. That means meaningless things also are meaningful. That's whole world is meaningful. Okay? So this is a great contribution. This is a great, nothing meaningless. I really appreciate a modern artist. The modern art's contribution is wonderful. Simply just draw a line. What is this? Imagine. Imagine. So I think it's a trail of left behind by a plane. Yes, that's what it is. Another fellow says it's just a line. Yeah, it's a line. Wonderful. Left it to your imagination. Ye yatha mam prapadyante tam tateva. Yat bhavam tad bhavati. Whatever you think, that's what it is. Very great truth is there. I can go on and on modern art without knowing anything about modern art. So my own perception of modern art, I have a lot of things to say. But one thing is certain, all that is there is a form for a meaning. As a meaning, a form. It includes function. Chair means form, function. Reversed, there is no form, no function. Then once I say no function, there is nothing, then it qualifies itself to be modern art. Kept in all this campus, university campus. That's the only place it becomes meaningful. The grounds, they fill it up. All huge things. Art. Nothing wrong. Don't think I am critical now. It's funny for me, these things. So, I'm sharing my fun. So, this form, function, or the word, or referred by the word, that is creation. Why? Because you find this form is nothing but the things that make the form. And that is, the wood is there. Wood is not chair. Whatever cushion that is there, that is not chair. Then what is chair? The legs, they are wood again. It's not chair. The form, in a certain way, which can fulfill the function that it means to. Means to say, that is a creation. That is what we call name and form. They call it name and form. There is another name and form, name and form, name and form. Without understanding name and form, they will say. As though it's an addition. There's no addition. That's the glory. Because without addition, without having an intrinsic reality, it serves a purpose. That's the glory. That is called Maya, about which we will talk later. It's amazing. And it is true with everything. It is true with your own body. If you take it one by one, you take it, skin will be this dermis. You have got a word, and it will mean what? It is but cells, pigments, cells, and the pigment also is again cell, all the way cell. It's a bunch of cells. One cell or a group of cells do not constitute a body. And therefore when you say human body, because there are many bodies, therefore human body, and it consists of cells. So body doesn't exist, only cells exist. It's not that body plus cells. Cells are the body. So why don't you say cells? We need a word body. So body is understood in a certain way. Then cell is understood differently. Cell and its meaning. Body is cells. Cells need not be body. An isolated cell doesn't make it body. And what is a cell again? Then you have to define it. Then the molecules and atoms and particles, different molecules, therefore different cells. Inhibiting one part, you get different things. Differences are created by simple, you have some building blocks and inhibit. Inhibit and remove one inhibition and then block another thing. Then it becomes, then block another thing. That's why you get kidney cells and brain cells. Brain cells behave differently and from kidney cells. Understand? So that pure inhibition is all simple material. Block, DNA. Again that is reduced something else. Therefore what I see here is different words meaning different things which are reduced to some other words, other things meant by other words. Therefore, highly sophisticated society is one which has more words, more understanding. Correct? More words means more understanding. A few years ago, 50 years ago, and hardware means hardware. We know hardware store, where you get nails and bolts and nuts and handles, all iron things and all that household material, things that you require for construction. These are called hardware store. Now hardware means different. We didn't know what was software. And we have created a lot of words. From iPod onwards, iPhone, something new has come. These are all words we have created. And more words, more knowledge of what is and what is possible, what was. For that also we have got words. And the missing link, etc. we have. We have words, those fellows. All this, how evolution. If you take that into account, we have what was there. You don't see any of them now. So what was there we project now. And said he was there, he was like this, he was like this. Then came the human being, the vertical human being. And between that there is one fellow, and this human being, Homo sapien, there was another fellow. He was called missing link. And that missing link, you only say missing link because he doesn't find any evidence for that. Therefore that person is called missing link, inferred, but no evidence. Maybe there was no missing link. They want evidence always. Some skull they should get. That's called evidence. Then afterwards, one skull is enough. They will construct around and create one form. This is the missing link. So all words, possible words, inferred objects also we have word for. That is our expanded knowledge. Ever expanding knowledge. So this is what we have. Every word yields to other words. And words have got words. Hamlet was right. Sir, what do you read? Polonius asked Hamlet, what do you read, sir? Words. Polonius says aside, because he wants to prove he is mad. He is mad, but there is a method in his madness. This is a famous line. There is a method in his madness because it is true. Words. Words. That is a book. Thank God he didn't say paper. He said words. Then he can say ink. And we are talking of language, and therefore words. And so, beyond this is a very big thing. We are going to look into this later. And all these various forms, which are the meanings of words, add to the limitless. They are nothing but attributes. Word is an attribute. Means meaning of a word is an attribute, form. Therefore, chair is a form added to a form, and which can be superimposed, not intrinsic form, a superimposed form. In other words, a mithya form, which is better, a mithya form. You cannot dismiss the meaning of the word as non-existent. You cannot prove that there is a substantive called a chair. There is no, because I end up with seeing table, means this wood I see, not table, wood I see, then any other thing that is there that I see, and none of them is chair, and therefore it cannot be the substantive, but it can only be attribute. The attribute also cannot be intrinsic. Wherever I see chair, it is not wood. It can be, it is not wood. Wood. And it cannot be wood. And it can only be, it can be copper. No, not copper. Steel. It can be plastic. But we call them all chair. Therefore, it is mithya. Don't dismiss it. Don't take it as self-existent. Now I am bringing one more word. Self-existent. It doesn't exist by itself as a substance. And that is the lot of this variegated world, big world, manifold world. Everything is attribute of something is. That what is something is again attributed, reduced to something else that is, something else that is, something else that is. Up to what you will travel like this? Up to a point where the is, we say, resolves into something, let us call it vastu, which is self-existent. That self-existent is coming all the way up to chair, correct? Is coming all the way up to chair. Is. And all the way you can reduce anything from the micro object also. Electron is, neutron is, you can say anything is. There the self-existent is joins, making that is, because it's only a form. The is of that form is the truth. What do we call that? We call it as Satyam. And whatever we see, we transact business with, about which we lament, we cry, we gloat over, everything else. Jnata, jnanam, jnayam, everything else. Nowhere, no knowledge and the objects, all draw that being from this is, the vastu that is self-existent. Therefore, Anantam is what? Anantam is self-existent. Because it is the is of everything. What do you know, what you don't know? It exists. The is of what you don't know is the is of what you know. See, all these words just to break down. We create a new set of Words, even then they will break down. But we can communicate. With the common word that we have got. And the words disappear once it is understood. Do you know why? Because that self-existent is self-revealing. Otherwise you cannot talk about self-existence. If you require a consciousness other than the self, which is self-existent, other than the vastu which is self-existent, then that consciousness will become self-existent. Therefore, what is self-existent? Is self-revealing consciousness. Therefore, you need to use the word chit. Chit is self-revealing consciousness. The existence of anything else is revealed by consciousness for you to say is. And consciousness is self-revealing. The existence of consciousness is self-revealing. And what is existent is consciousness, is self-revealing. And it is limitless, is self-revealing. You don't require a limitless mind to understand this, okay? It is self-revealing. All that I require is to negate all the funny notions, including limited mind. A limited mind is good enough to destroy your ignorance. It's good enough. Ignorance of a self-revealing thing. That is called vritti jnana. The knowledge that takes place in the mind without being mental. And that's purely methodology of teaching. No object is shown. Nothing. In magic. It's a pure method. In a lesser way it is psychotherapy. I mean, lesser way is psychotherapy. But also it has no subject separate matter. Your own problems. And you get some clarity about your problems. Being the you is not your problems. It is your mother. If you go to a therapist, you can't relate to your mother the same way as before. She is the first. Then afterwards father. Or father first, mother second. Both of them are involved in that. And of course other whatever. That's called therapy. They are not doing anything. They are not revealing anything. You reveal yourself. They know how to say yes. If I were you, I would have gone mad. Then the person feels safe. I think I am sane. It is true. The therapist he is not bluffing. He tells his feeling. That's what I would have gone. This is too much for a child to handle. Therefore, the problem is shifted to another person and also validated. Because under these circumstances, environment, this feeling will be there. The innocent child will have this feeling, therefore it is valid. Therefore you need not blame yourself. That is the confusion. So negate the confusion. You get clarity. So this clarity, getting this clarity really helps. That is why therapy. It is a good thing. We are not creating a new problem or solving a problem. We are only making the person see exactly the validity of the problem. The validation. It's a method, therefore it is a method. That is why it is not one-time affair. Somebody goes to a therapist 1 or 2 days, then afterwards it's all known to me, and then what is it? I don't buy. It takes years. Now this is, I am going to give you a super therapist later, so you need not pay to him at all. So you create your super therapist for validation. I will talk about that later. Therefore, Vedanta is a method. There is a vision and there is a method of unfolding the vision. This is what you are. Therefore, Chit is Sat. Sat is Chit. And Chit is Ananta or Ananda. You know, you understand Ananda. This is called Swarupananda. The meaning is limitlessness. Therefore, this is what is said in that verse, Manobuddhya Ahankara. Aham is not manaha buddhiki chittam. We should take. Aham na manobuddhi chitta ahankara. I am not mind or buddhi or chittam or ahankaram. I am not, so the senses, I am not all this. All this I am. That we have to really arrive at. I am not any of them. I transcend all of them. They do not transcend me. They are me. But I am free from all of them. Then I sustain all of them. And I am Chidananda Rupa Shivoham Shivoham. I am Chit consciousness, which is limitless, which is the truth, which sustains all of them, which is the ease of all of them. Even if you have sadness, and the sadness is Chidananda. Your sadness is sustained by consciousness, which is Ananda. You shift, you need not do anything. Your vision is shifted from dukkha, sorrow, to Chit, which is sorrow. Which is Chit means consciousness. Sorrow is consciousness. Am I sorrow or consciousness I am? If you say consciousness I am, and that is Ananda. I mean, that means Swarupananda sustains Shoka. Generally we say Ananda is opposed to Shoka. Ananda is unopposed to Shoka. It sustains Shoka. Chidananda Rupa Shivoham Shivoham. Therefore these three words are important, but that doesn't mean we stop with that. We have many words. Why you have many words without being adjective? Each word is substantive. Each word is the only substantive. There is no other substantive. There is only one Purusha, one Krishna. All others are all Namarupas. They are called these Gopas and Gopis and everybody. All of them are Namarupas. There is only one Purusha, one Krishna. Purusha is one. Purusha means Purnaha. But this fellow, so Sat is Purnatma, Sat is Purna Brahman, that is Atma Chit. Chit means Atma has come. And it is limitless and it is. That's the ease of everything. Alright. Now, what about the word Nitya? What about the word Shuddha? What about the word Mukta? What about the word Purna? What about the word Asanga? What about the word Buddha? There are so many words. That also is Satya. That also is consciousness, Ananda, Satchidananda. Only one. Why then these redundant words? They are not redundant. You have got so many notions. Wrong notions, negating them, we have got so many words. So you have got more words. Suppose you have got pancreatitis. And you say, I am Stulaham, I am 5 feet 9 inches. You say that. I am 5 feet 9 inches. You are completely dedicated to your body. And the body is yourself. You are the body. That's the feeling. Sometimes the feeling is like that. Mosquito bites me. You don't say mosquito bites my body. You say mosquito bites me. When you come, you say I come. I get up. I go. This can be purely language. Or it can be real. That's what you mean. I get up. So if Atma gets up, you had it, I tell you. So Atma doesn't get up. Something gets up. You say, I get up. Therefore, don't change the language. Swamiji said, Atma doesn't get up. And therefore, when I asked, will you get up? No, yes, this will get up. I don't get up. Are you hungry? No. But this body is hungry. Prana is hungry. This is hungry. Did you eat? This has not eaten. This is the language of many sadhus, I tell you. This sadhu language. இது வருகிறது, இது போகிறது. எப்போ வந்தது? அப்படிதான் கேட்கணும். சாதுக்குள்ள போய் நீங்க எப்போ வந்தீங்கன்னு கேட்கக்கூடாது. எப்போ வந்தது? இது தமிழ்ல. எப்போ வந்தது? நேற்றுக்கு வந்தது. அது ஒரு குரூப், அது பண்டாரம் குரூப். அது கரெக்டா இருக்கும். எப்போ வந்தது? நேற்றுக்கு வந்தது. ரெண்டு பண்டாரம், two pandarams, two sadhus, they came to blows. First arguments and then blows. They are all devotees of Shiva. They came to blows. And then the police, they were taken to the police station. The inspector asked these fellows, hey, you are sadhus, what happened? Yet they got a language for this. That Shiva said Shiva Shiva to me, to this Shiva. And this Shiva said Shiva Shiva. Means he scolded me, I called him names. So the names are Shiva Shiva. So Shiva called me Shiva Shiva. I called him Shiva Shiva. And that Shiva did pada pada. And I also did pada pada. That's all. The language. So don't change your language, okay? Don't say, this is coming. He phones his wife. So when are you coming? This is coming day after tomorrow. What? This is coming day after tomorrow. What happened? Did he go to that Gurukula? What happened? Don't bring me bad name, okay? So, you need not change your language. Please understand enough. That's good enough. It's true. So we have to negate. Na ye jati. Vriddhim na yati. Na jayate. Na mriyate. It is not born. Why do you say that? Because you construe that you are born. That's not true. You means I. You have to take it as I. What is I? That you cannot objectify, and that objectifies everything. That is I. Not only objectifies, that is everything. the subject and object. That is I. That I is not born, is not gone. Nitya, the word Nitya. It is not bound by time, eternal. We have got now words and words because we have mistakes and mistakes. So every mistake is corrected by another word. There is no adjective for Atma. The corrective words. Therefore, Nityaha, Shuddhaha, Muktaha, Buddhaha. Every word is a corrective word. So, now we have a certain important topic to deal with. And the topic is how this one non-dual, how did this non-dual reality called Brahman, that is Atma, how did it become many? You look around. Ask the question and look around. The non-dual Brahman. How did it become dual? Who told you it became dual? Because you are there, I am here. This is one duality. Do you want anything more? I say this is non-dual. This is non-dual. This is dual. So we have a dual, correct? We have a dual. So we will have it. We will have a good time. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om